So this is a good example of a consultant website. Ben came up in conversation on one of our group coaching calls, and I thought I would look at his website and kind of see what it was all about and see if there's anything we can learn. Ben is a very successful, well-established marketing advisor and former executive. His website is quite simple, but it has a lot of the boxes that I try to check. A lot of us are trying to make our websites work too hard. I don't think we need to do that. So let's look at this website here. So first and foremost, learn how to effectively scale your B2B startup with product-led growth and product-led sales. And so right there, it's a very clear value proposition about what he does and who he helps and how he does it. I guess the how comes later. Join thousands of founders and product and growth professionals learning from my weekly newsletter, The Product-Led Geek. Every Tuesday, you'll get an email with frameworks and actionable advice to help you grow your B2B startup via product-led strategy. So it's really clear what the value proposition is. And I assume that all of what he does, the through line, what I call the universal value proposition of all of his services, his content, his website, is to help people grow their B2B startup with product-led strategies. And so right off the top, though, you've got a very clear value proposition, reinforcing what it is and giving people a way to opt into that value. The main point of your website is to get people onto your mailing list. To me, the main point of social media is to not only get people aware of you, but to drive them back to your website, your ecosystem, if you will, have them fall in love with the things you're doing, and then get onto your mailing list. And then maybe reach out the first time, but more likely just get on your mailing list and then let the email be the thing that delivers value over time so that trust is built so that by the time they reach out to you, they're already ready to hire you. And so right off the top, we're leading with value. It's not like book a call with me. It's not like, buy now. It's very much, it's about content here with an interesting image of him, and then let the navigation do the selling. Okay. In this case, he's got a very simple navigation. He's got about work with me newsletter. So right off the top, what am I seeing? You got some social icons. I usually put those lower, but totally fair game to put those up there for people looking for them. I usually put a primary call to action up here, which is like subscribe or get on a newsletter, but he's got that here, so it's moot. So then you move on to the next point. And then, there's a podcast with Lenny, and he's got a huge podcast in the tech space. Many of you will already know who he is. And so right there, you're establishing credibility. So right after the value prop, lead people into your content, into your mailing list with a compelling reason to do so, and then try to establish credibility as soon as you can. I think that's the key thing, whether those are logos, testimonials, something that signals you are a high signal person, you're a high caliber person and an expert. So being on Lenny's podcast is basically a stamp of approval. Lenny's extremely well known and well respected in the tech space. And so 90-minute interview with him right there, right off the top. Great way to get to know him. Anytime you're doing video, this is the reason I'm on video right now. My face but what I mean by that is that it builds relationships. It shows people kind of what you're about, lets them pick up your energy, your vibe, and also in a higher fidelity way, understand how you can help them. So then you get to the next section. So he goes, how can I help you? But it's not all about buying. The first thing he does is get people on the mailing list. And further, has 7,600 subscribers, which reinforces credibility. So one email every Tuesday with frameworks, mental models, actionable advice to help you grow your B2B startup. So an interesting day of the week, which is neither here nor there, but he's giving more free stuff here and then showing credibility with 7,600 subscribers. He does B2B startup advising, which we'll look at next. And then very clear about product-led and product-led sales motions. And then I guess he's got a sponsorship to get your brand in front of his audience. Okay. Then you have why subscribe. So he's really promoting the benefits of why subscribing it matters. But again, any kind of testimonials work, whether that's subscribing and or your services. There's just tons of people, ideally with really good names and logos. That really helps as well. So then again, pre-footer call to action is just about subscribing. So the very simple homepage. There's no bells and whistles. There's no process or anything that he sells. It's like, here's the content, and then here's ways you can work with me. Let's look at his about page quickly, and then we'll look at the work with me page. So here you've got his story here, so look at the credibility signals. The whole goal of your marketing, once you pick the niche, is to then immediately say, here's why I'm credible to solve that problem for that specific market. I'm a former executive, so that shows that I've been doing this for a while at a high level. Turned strategic advisor to startup founders and heads of product and growth. Okay, so clear about it's the founders and then heads of product and growth, those two roles. I've gained 20 plus experience working as an operator. So a lot of times people are like, oh, consultants wave their hands. He's basically saying, look, I was in the trenches. I was operating for 20 plus years. So when I advise, it's coming from a place of firsthand knowledge, not necessarily whatever come off the mountain kind of thing. Building, nurturing, and scaling high performance and product and cross-functional teams. Now focusing on helping others deliver strategic impact through sustainable, defensible growth. And really that's the outcome, right? It's growth, sustainable and defensible growth, not, your quick splash in the pan. My expertise and experience over the years implementing PLG across acquisition, retention, and monetization levers allows me to help you with. And then he goes into a long list of the types of things that he can help with. And so typically a PLG company will look at this and be like, yeah, like all of this is what I need. It's super specific. It's super technical. Seems completely bang on. It's exactly the language you'd want to see from someone like there. My most recent operator roles. So again, he's focusing on the roles that he was an operator at to kind of reinforce that that he's not just coming in with ideas and hand waving, and he's not a McKinsey consultant. You have to create your own credibility in your own way, and he's leaning on his past in-house roles, which I think is smart for him. And then the cybersecurity unicorn, where I led the teams, blah blah blah, and Cloud Bees. DevOps unicorn. So he's talking about 2 unicorns that he helped, get 50% year-over-year growth. They were valued at $8.6 billion by the end, 160% year-over-year growth. These are actual numbers are the way you really establish proof. If you're going to sell growth, you have to show proof. And so really great examples in here of how he's done that. So whenever you can, build case studies around your best engagements and show these numbers, because it's going to make selling a lot easier for you down the line. So let's look at work with me now. And what's interesting is he gives you a pricing table, which is not kind of what you'd expect. And so he's basically got, look, discovery call is $0. I guess tongue-in-cheek being the fact that product-led growth lets you try things for free, if you will. So he's tying into that. Also, the pricing table is very common in the SaaS and startup world. So just kind of interesting way of presenting his consulting options. So for free, discuss challenges, uncover opportunities, whatever. 30-minute video call, always free. Advising is custom. It's a close engagement, 4 to 12 plus months, weekly 1-hour video call, async access, accelerated learning. Don't know what that means, accelerated learning, but maybe that's a benefit. Maybe there's some content there that comes with his advising. And then he's got operating, right? So this is your interim leadership. It's a fixed period, right? That's the key thing with interim leadership to avoid it becoming a full-time job, is look for a fixed period and say like a max of 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Head of growth, head of product, PLG motions, okay? And so these are custom. So he's not putting pricing here, which is totally fine because everyone will come from different times and places. So he says, I'm able to work with you in different ways to create sustainable, defensible growth for your business. My primary engagement model is advising around, and that's the key thing here, right? We want to be advisors, not part-time employees. So it's interesting that he's kind of come to the same conclusion that I preach, if you will. And yeah. So around all things PLG, product-led growth, and I'm also occasionally available as interim roles as head of product. So interim, right? Really clear that it's interim, not kind of ongoing forever. A lot of people want fractional roles as like basically a full-time forever thing, as long as possible. I think that interim in that leadership role, which is very much a hands role, makes a lot of sense. You can charge a lot of money, but you want to limit it so that it doesn't become your whole life with 1 or 2 key clients that can go away anytime. You need to have time to focus on your business, and that's why advising is so good. I focus on working with B2B companies that have achieved product market fit. Okay, so there's a kind of a sub-niche and are looking to scale via product-led growth and product-led sales. Here are some of the ways I can help. And I guess these are probably the same things that he had on his about page. And then it's just get in touch, right? And then it opens up an email. And so, I just wanted to show this to you as an example of how simple it can all be. His newsletter obviously is the beating heart of his marketing. I assume. I don't follow him on LinkedIn. I'm sure he's publishing tons on LinkedIn as well. Maybe we can take a quick look. But the newsletter seems to be the main thing with 7,600 subscribers, and I guess that page doesn't work here. Maybe change his name. I'm not sure. His handle, if you will. I'll just check Twitter real quick. So not a huge following on Twitter, but yeah, I assume LinkedIn is probably active, and maybe someone can tell me afterwards. Okay, and then the newsletter, which is a Substack, plg.news, and I guess he's got a podcast notes. Like I'm kind of taking a first take of this. I hadn't heard of him before. He's not really in my ecosystem as a PLG guy, but audio essays, which sound really cool. And let's see if they're long, if they're written as well. Read full story. Okay, paid for paid subscribers only. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if I can listen to the whole thing. It's 9 minutes long, but yeah, I mean, like, there's just a ton of content in here, notes, chat. So he's building a little ecosystem in a community, if you will, via Substack. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting things about it, right? Your whole goal, as I see it, is to have something to invite people to that's free and high value, whether it's a community, whether it's a Substack, whatever it is, as long as you have a main website that's on your own domain, and even your Substack, if you do go that route, is on your own domain as well. And so there's a lot of value here, and with all the subscribers he has, I'm sure he can sell quite easily on the back of this. So I just want to share this with you as an example. Your website doesn't even need to be super complicated. You do want to get people over into your world and onto your email list. And then whether your services are selling, if you haven't quite figured out your services, keep it open, keep it custom, just like he had on his website as well. But working with him, it doesn't need to be. Everything doesn't need to be super productized. Sometimes it's better to be like, look, here's how I can work, and then here's what I can help you with, and let's talk and see what comes up. This is the way to do it. And once you've sold the same thing over and over again, then you can productize around the thing that obviously works for so many people. That's highly compelling. So this is how I would approach it if I was building a new consulting website in a new niche, or if I wanted to keep things super simple, exactly this format. Really curious to see if he's active on LinkedIn, but I assume he is. I'm going to quickly search him here in real time. Okay, here we go. So yeah, so clear value proposition as well, helping B2B SaaS founders win with PLG, the former companies he worked with. Follow me too, and then there's the universal value proposition: scale more efficiently with product-led growth and product-led sales. Basically the same idea as his about page, and then links to his key pages, his YouTube, the Lenny podcast, the PLG news, and then his services page. And it appears that he's at least reasonably active. I got a ton of followers, so he puts his advisory roles in here as well. I don't typically do that, just because I don't want people to know all my current clients. It doesn't really benefit me to do that. So yeah, I don't know. This is it. There's nothing too complicated. I know he's probably churning out a ton of content, and I believe that's the best way as well. So you want to be an expert, you got to publish a lot, and it looks like he's doing just that on his LinkedIn and presumably his Substack. Okay, I'll leave it there for now. If you got any good ideas out of this, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.